On today's show, we have Kami from BSB join us in the studio. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Diane.
So we're here to talk about savings. Why do you think we should save?
Well, Diane, you'll notice that the more we save, the better the quality of our lives, start to become, because we're able to meet those financial targets. So, when you have that financial security, life also starts to become less stressful, given you have a good balance on other aspects of your life too, and so you start to live in better comfort, given that discipline.
And, I think in Papua New Guinea it's extremely difficult to save, just because of the standard of living and the cost of goods in our family. Maybe you can give us some tips on how we can save, maybe the small steps or the easiest to start off with, and then
Yeah, sure. I've got basically 5 tips I'd like to share on how we can best save. So the first tip is that you need to be clear about your goal. What is it that you want to be saving for? So be very clear on that, because you have to be able to, if you've got that focus, then that means that you will, in the end you will be able to meet that goal. You're actually focused on saving. So like for parents, if you're saving for school fees for your child, if your child knows that you're saving, mom and dad sacrificing, so that also instills in them that thinking that parents are sacrificing and they must do their best, so they start to do better at school too, given the sacrifices the parents are putting into here. So it's like there's a focus on that goal, so you're achieving it. And
so first, having a goal as to why you should.
Yes. And the second tip, you need to work out how much you can save. So got to be able to work out a budget. Got to be clear on what your sources of income are. This is where your income's coming from. You've got to be clear on what your expenses are. Do you really need to be spending as much as you are on some expenses? Can you be cutting back or spending wiser at another place, buying the same good, but going to another shop maybe and getting it for cheaper? But in terms of savings, I'd advise that you treat your savings like an expense itself. Mm-hmm. Treat it like a fixed expense. So instead of saving last, you save first. So it's like how you pay the rent,
That's a great
off.
tip, yeah.
So pretend you're a creditor yourself, and pay yourself. Yeah. Pay it into that bank account, and so then it's more structured. It's not last minute and at the end what's left. Yeah, and the third tip. Maintain a regular savings pattern. So with BSP we have options available, such as you can place a standing order, you can do transfers through your mobile banking or internet banking. So you're given the time frame that you've allocated to be able to meet that target, you're eventually getting there. Yeah. And so with the fourth tip, give your account a name that inspires you to save, so that you're motivated to keep regularly, putting money in and increasing your savings. So like with BSP, we have the BSP Plus Saver account, and you can have more than one account. So you can have an account for, maybe you want to be saving for your home equity or saving up for a car or that vacation. So you can have more than one account and be regularly depositing money into your account on a weekly basis. So you're not just limited to one account.
Okay. And you've mentioned some of the accounts, but in terms of the services in which BSB can help a person save, what are they?
So that moves me on to the fifth tip. It's good to shop around and to see what's out there. Yeah. Sometimes we want to just be using what we already have, like our savings account, and that's more a transaction account, while BSB offers other savings accounts like the BSP Plus Saver I was saying, where the more you save, the more interest you can earn, and you have you have restricted access to that bank account. So it's like, actually you don't have access, so you're...
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that also stops you from
Yeah.
coming and, you know, dipping in whenever you want.
So you
and
can't even
taking
go
cash.
like and
So
say I need the. It's just you're
it
not
would-
allowed to access it until you save for that.
It'd be like you go, I guess you'd have to be walking into the branch to be able to
okay.
withdraw. It's not like you have a card and you swipe and
great.
it's like instant access at call. Yeah. So that's one of the good things, you get to your goal faster. For the kids, we also have a kids savings account. So you can open up for your baby and up to 15 years of age. So that's fee-free as well. And we've got a structured interest tier system where the more you save, the more interest you can earn on that. So that's also got restrictions on withdrawal. So you get to your goal faster. And longer term too, you know, you have the option of term deposits.
Okay.
For personal customers, you can start from a minimum of 5,000 kina and up, and you know, earn more interest on that. So that's, you know, you have a term on that, so you're not able to touch it, and you can build on that as well through.
Right. So I mean,
through the interest.
it'd be best if people were interested in the services offered for savings, they just go into a BSP outlet and just speak to someone in terms of...
It's quite easy. Just get an application form. So for the BSP Plus Saver, if you have a Kundu account, you just fill in an extra application, and that's linked to
that account,
to your transaction account. Yeah.
Great. Well, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, if you know, to the viewers, if you're interested in getting more information, you can visit our website on www.bsp.com.pg or contact our customer call center on 320-1212. And we're also on Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter, so we're contactable through that, and the staff will be happy to assist with queries.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.